Hey guys, I know this is a crazy way to do the first day of class, but I had a few things come up that didn't allow me to be there in person, so I think this is the next best thing to that. I didn't want to waste one of our riding days by having to come back and then us talk about the things that we needed to talk about, so we'll get them done now. I'm excited for you guys to be here. This is going to be a great semester. This is mountain biking. I am so glad you decided to take this course. My name is Ray Lamb. I'm a PGA golf and teaching professional, and I know that sounds really crazy, but I've been playing and teaching golf my entire life, teaching some of the golf classes here at Baylor for about 22 years, wrote a lot of golf books. That's what I do. About 6 years ago, I was about 54. Yeah, I'm old. I'm like 60 now. So about 54 or so, about 6 years ago, I started riding bikes. Absolutely fell in love with it. My son talked me into it. I was doing a lot of exercise. Always been into exercising and staying in shape. And I did a lot of P90X, big muscles, all that kind of stuff. I know you can't tell that now, but at one time, it was pretty good. Anyway, I rode bikes with my son. We rode about 2 miles. I thought I was absolutely going to die, and I realized that I wasn't in shape. So I bought a bicycle. I started riding a bike, got in the best shape of my life, and fell in love with it. It's one of the greatest sports I think you can ever get involved in. And the cool thing about road biking, mountain biking, whatever type of biking it is that you choose to do, is something that you can do on your time, anytime you want to. So sometimes I'll go out and ride at 2:30 in the morning. That's my time. That's the time that I got to go out and ride. I don't have 4 o'clock in the afternoon or so. So it gives you an opportunity to go out and work out, get a great ride in, have a great time doing it, come home soaking wet and tired and go, wow, that was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. So I fell in love with it. It's one of those things that's just absolutely awesome. I started riding, just regular bikes, and then I started racing a little bit. I'm competitive. I couldn't help it. I wanted to start, being competitive at cycling just like I was in golf. And it didn't take me long to realize that, being like old and trying to race against people that were young wasn't like the greatest thing in the world to do. So in 20, 30, 40 mile races, I was just getting killed, not having a lot of fun. Once one of my friends, Fred, talked me into going and doing like a 24-hour race, and I thought, 24 hours on a bicycle? How crazy can that be? Greatest thing I ever did. It was so much fun, and I'm actually good at it. So I don't ride very, very fast all the time, but I can ride for a very long time. And I started doing 24-hour races, had a blast doing it, pretty successful. Qualified for the national championship. I think I finished 15th, then qualified for the world championships out in California. I wasn't able to attend that event for some reasons that are crazy, but anyway, I enjoy it. It turned into one of those things where I really enjoyed doing it. And I thought, if I can ride a bike for 24 hours, I wonder if I could ride a bike for 24 hours, 2 days in a row. The next thing you know, I was doing endurance racing. My last big race was 3,000 miles from Banff, Canada to Mexico, in the wilderness, 200,000 feet of climbing, carrying your bike through streams, all trails, dealing with mountain lions, dealing with bears, mountain storms, freezing cold, sleeping on the ground at night in the mountains, dying of heat exhaustion in the desert. It's a crazy, crazy thing, but it's a ton of fun. A couple weeks ago, I set the record for the fastest time ever across the state of Texas, 1,029 miles on trails. And I did that on a single speed, which was really, really good. And it was great. The thing about mountain biking is it's something you can do anytime, anywhere, and it's very, very addicting. It's one of those things you start doing and it's hard to get rid of it. It will keep you in great shape. I know that it's changed the way that I feel about exercise. I love getting out, getting on my bike and riding, and I think you guys are going to love it too. I hope at the end of this class you become as passionate about it as I am. Okay, let me just start and just kind of give you guys a rundown of what you're going to need. And try to keep it short, try to keep it simple, but there's some things that we really need to go over. First and foremost, the bike. I need you to have a bike that's in pretty good shape. Okay, mountain bikes are different than road bikes. This is and I know you guys know this, but some of you guys might be brand new to cycling. So this is a road bike. This is my road bike. It's about a $14,000 Peter Sagan edition S-Works. Weighs about 11 pounds. I never ride it. It's just kind of one of those deals. But road bikes have very small tires, no suspension, drop bars, and they're just not something you can use in the trails. You just can't do it. So if you got this kind of bike, it won't work. You have to get something different. Mountain bikes, which is what we use. This is my mountain bike. It is a Specialized S-Works, also pretty expensive, about a $14,000 bike. But this bike's a lot different. You can see that it has a lot bigger tires, 2.5-inch tires or so. It's got flat bars. It has suspension, so when I lean on the back, you can see how it gives a bit. Same way with front suspension. This particular bike has a brain on it, so you can open it up and you got plenty of suspension. You can see how that moves, or I can lock it out when I'm climbing and it doesn't move at all unless it goes airborne, and then you can see that that thing moved a pretty good ways there. So it's kind of one of those things that does everything for you, but the overall deal is it's a mountain bike. It's made for riding over rocks and roots and stumps and small animals and whatever you want to go over. Really, this bike is going to keep you airborne a whole lot more than a road bike will. So this is the kind of bike you need for my class. If you don't have one, I'll rent bikes. I don't know, in your class, you just have to check with me. I only have 9 bikes. I buy 9 brand new bikes every semester, like that Salsa Timberjack there. They're about $1,300 bikes. They're great. They have hydraulic brakes, 29-inch wheels, a 1-by drivetrain, front suspension, really good. I'll rent them to the students for $175, and that comes with the repair kit, the helmet. I'll transport it to and from Cameron Park. You don't have to do anything but show up and ride. If you tear it up, you break it, which is one of those things you can do when you're riding a mountain bikes in Cameron Park. If you do that, I take care of it. It costs you nothing. So that's an option. You know, if this is a new kind of sport to you, something you thought, hey, I think I might like that, I might enjoy it, and you don't feel like investing a lot of money in a bike, then you can always rent one. Again, check with me, because I've got most of those bikes rented out, but you never know. So just check with me and we'll see. If not, I'll help you put your hands on a bike somewhere, some way. But this is the type of bike that you're going to need for the class. The other things you're going to need for class, you're going to have a helmet. We'll grab a couple things here. I know these look terrible. They don't look good on you. They don't look good on me, but it's something that we have to use. Anytime we're on a mountain bike, anytime we're in the trails, actually anytime you're on a bicycle, you should have one of these on. It's one of those things I think is extremely important. We got to have some way to hydrate. It's a water bottle. That's all I use is just these kind of water bottles. This is a water bottle, but not acceptable. These will fall out of a bike cage or water bottle cage in an instant, and you'll have nothing. So I want you to have one of these type bottles. These are cheap, $2, $3. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Sam's. You can get them at Academy. You can get them at the local bike shops. You can get them pretty much anywhere. So they're inexpensive and they work really well. They'll stay in, they'll clip in, and they'll stay in. These will just fall out. Don't spend a lot of money getting one of those Yetis or aluminum type bottles. They won't fit in those bottle cages either. You'll stick them in there. Those cages are aluminum. It'll spread it open to hold it in there, and the minute you hit a bump, it'll be gone. And then the cage is open and it won't hold any bottles. So I want you just to get a cheap bottle, or you can get a hydration pack. You can get like a Camelback that you can just wrap around. It's got water in it. You know, the hose hangs down. You can ride, grab the hose, take a drink, let go of it. It's there on your back. Also, it's a good place to put your keys, your wallet, things of that nature, your phone. It's going to make things a lot better. You know, if you have that, it's probably the easiest way to do it. I just don't like anything on my back, so I use the bottles. The other thing is make sure you have a repair kit. Repair kit, you can see on the back of my single speed, this is all I ever ride. There's a little pouch on the bottom of the seat. That pouch contains a tube. It contains a means of airing up that tube. It contains a tire tool, and those are the things that I think you need to have on your bike. So if we have a flat, I got to be able to get the tire off the wheel. I've got to be able to put another tube in there, and then I've got to be able to put the tire back on. I have to air it up. So whether you use most of my bikes on that one as well, I have what you call a little CO2 cartridge. So here's your tire tool. Pretty simple. Here's a CO2 cartridge. That's just, I'll screw this on, put it on the wheel, it'll air on the tire, it'll air it up. The only bad thing about these is if you use one, it's used. Okay, so if you have another flat, you don't have another cartridge, you're in trouble. The bikes that I have for the class, they have 2 or 3 cartridges in them, so you don't have to worry about it. But another really good means of airing up your tire is just one of those small handheld pumps, because they're reusable. It takes a little bit longer to get, you have to sit there and pump it to get the air in the tire, but you know, you don't have to go keep buying cartridges, which are $2 or $3 every time you have to buy one. So those are the things that you got to have on your bike. And I don't want them, a lot of times students will go, hey coach, man, I'm gonna carry that, I'm just gonna put it in my shirt, in the back of my shirt, or I'm gonna carry it in my pocket. We're not gonna do that, because what'll happen is, like what happens with most people, you'll wind up forgetting it and leave it in your car, and when we need it, you won't have it. The thing about having that repair kit that's so important is, I want us to have fun riding our bike. If we ride 2 or 3 miles out into the woods, and your bike breaks in such a way that I don't have the tools to fix it, and you don't have the tools to fix it, then everybody's got to stop what they're doing and stay there. I've got to walk that bike and that person back to the parking lot and make sure they get there safely. And I got to ride back to where you guys are, the rest of the guys are, and then we start our trail route again. So I can never let you ride by yourself in the park. There's too many ways to get lost, and it's just not going to be one of those things that's going to be useful. So you got to have what you need on your bike to repair it. Some of you guys make sure that you have whatever it takes to get the wheels off your bike. All of my bikes have through axles. Some of the bikes have, most all bikes now have some type of quick release, a skewer that you can release the wheel and take it off pretty quickly. Some bikes still have the nuts on the wheels, and if you have one of those, make sure you carry a wrench big enough that will fit that nut. You can carry on that pouch so we can get the wheel off. If we can't get the wheel off, we can't fix a flat, and then we're walking. So those are things that you got to have on your bike. Also, I'd like you to have some type of eyewear. Don't spend a lot of money. These are Rudies. They're about $350, but you can get a pair of sunglasses at Walmart for $2 or $3 that'll be just as good. The main reason we have eyewear is just to keep rocks or limbs or bugs from flying in our eyes when we're riding the bike. We don't want to have to let go of the handlebar to get something out of our eyes. That's usually not a healthy thing to do. So I need a bike. That's a mountain bike, not a road bike. It needs to be in good condition. Hey, if you'll take it to Jeremiah, he's a good friend of mine down at Bear Mountain. They're one of my sponsors. Jeremiah will go through that bike and look at it and go, hey, this is good. It's great. Everything's in good shape. You're ready for race class. Or he'll tell you, hey, this is not going to hold up or that's not going to hold up. You probably need to get this fixed. And if you do need to get it fixed, you don't have to get it fixed there. You can take it to any bike shop you want. They'll give you the best deal because they're one of my sponsors and they take care of the guys in my class. You just got to tell them that you're in my class. But once you have, they'll check your bike out for free. So once you have it checked out and it's in pretty good shape, they have the repair kits there and they can put a repair kit together for you very inexpensively. So you'll have it there for your bike. They'll take care of everything that you need and then you'll be ready to go in class. So once we have the bike and we have all the tools that we need on the bike to repair it, and we have the gear, the bottle, the helmet, things of that nature, then we're ready to go. Make sure you wear some old shoes that you don't care about because it's dusty in there, it's rocky. You can mess your shoes up pretty good. So just get some old shoes that you don't care about and you'll be in great shape. Hopefully I've covered everything that you need on your bike. And I know that's quick, it's a crash course, but I hope that I've covered everything that you need. If not, if there's some question that you have, email me, call me, text me, and I'll be glad to go over that with you. Let me go over just the grading policy real quick. Now that's one of those things that's extremely important to me, okay? So, I truly love mountain biking, and I want you to love that too. And I want it to be something you look forward to coming to class every day, not one of those things that you come to class and you dread it. This is not about a grade. It's not about an A or a B or a C or a D to me. Okay, when I teach a class, I teach it as, hey, these students are going to Baylor, they're paying a lot of money to take this class. It's my responsibility to make sure they learn to mountain bike properly. That means if you don't make an A, I feel like I failed. That being said, there's a few things that I can't take care of that you're going to have to take care of on your own. Baylor sets the attendance policy. The attendance is 10% of your grade, okay? The 10% of your grade part, it is what it is, but the bad thing about attendance is you have to attend 75% of the classes. If you miss 25% of the classes, even if they're excused, you will fail. Okay, that means, let's say we meet 16 times, you miss 4 times, that's it. That's it. The 5th time you fail the class. You say, well, all my absences were excused. That's great. You can make up the work, but you can't make up the day. So, I got 4 classes. If something happens and you can't make it to class, you're welcome to attend one of my other classes. Just let me know and say, hey, coach, I can't be there this day or I can't be there that day. I'll make sure I make room for you in another class. We'll make it up and you'll have 0 absences. So the attendance policy is set. It's on you. You have to take care of business and you have to take care of the attendance part of it. The book, that's 10% of your grade as well. The book is Cycling 101. I wrote it. It's got a lot of things in there that don't have anything to do with mountain biking, but I want you to know them. It has a lot about equipment. It has a lot about maintaining the bicycle properly. It has a lot about nutrition. It has a lot about racing. It has a lot about the rules of the road and how to ride a bike safely on a highway. And I know you guys are going, this is mountain biking. It is, but if you ride a mountain bike and you get hooked on it, you're also going to want to ride on the road. And I want to make sure that you're safe no matter where you ride a bike. Road biking is a dangerous deal. Riding on the road is a dangerous deal. I used to think, hey, riding on the road, I know what I'm doing, everything's good. The problem is, a lot of people that ride bikes, especially around Baylor, especially around campus, they don't really understand what the rules are. They ride on sidewalks, they jump on and off the curb, in and out of cars and parking lots. They go in bike lanes the wrong way. None of those things are right. And that's why we have a lot of accidents. It's amazing that we don't have more accidents than we do. But even though you and I are on the trails, we're blessed because we're 3 miles from Cameron Park, which is where our class is going to be held. And we have awesome trails, from just the most basic beginner trail to the most advanced, double black diamond trails. We have everything in between. So we're blessed, we're safe, but if you ever are on the highway, I want to make sure that you know what you're doing and I want to make sure that you stay safe so you can enjoy the sport. So the book is necessary. That being said, you can't buy a used book. You got to buy a brand new book, okay? If you buy a used book, then whoever had that book had to have answered every question, because I grade it by hand, every single one, and give it back to them. So you would have to take and copy the answers onto a piece of paper, or read the questions and then write your own answers on a piece of paper without looking at their answers. Doesn't make for a good deal. So I won't accept it on paper. You have to buy a book, Cycling 101, it has everything in it. This is what you're going to need, but you're going to need a brand new copy of it, okay? So that's going to be 10% of your grade. 40% of your grade comes from skills test. You're going to do great on that. I mean, skills tests that's my deal. If you can't ride a bike proficiently at the end of this class, I failed, not you. I mean, you're paying me to teach you to ride a bike. I promise you, you'll be able to do every skill. We have a couple skills that are very necessary. I mean, you know, the simple things like learning to change gears properly, stopping and starting, braking, we'll have those in no time. We'll get past that in no time. But learning to climb without getting off your bike and learning to descend safely, those skills are a little bit more challenging. I promise you, within the third or fourth week of class, you'll be mastering those skills, and we won't even think about those anymore. So don't worry about the skills test. It's 40% of your grade, but if you finish this class, you're going to make an A on the skills test, because everyone in this class is going to know how to do everything that I think is necessary for a beginning mountain bike class. No problem. The last 40% comes from a test, the final. The final comes straight from the book. All the questions come straight from the book. Next to the last day of class, I will go over those questions. I will let you know exactly which ones are going to be on the test. That being said, there's an easier way to pass that final, to make an A on the final without even taking the final. Nancy Goodnight's a good friend of mine. She has a race here in town called the Waco Wild West. It has 25, 50, 75, and 100-mile routes. If you do a 50, 75, or 100-mile route, you don't even have to take the final. Okay, you'll get an A on the final. I know you're going, Coach, I'm not going to ride 50, 75, or 100 miles on my bike. You'll love it. Last semester I had 40-some-odd students do it. The semester before, 40-some-odd students do it. Every one of them finished it. Every one of them loved it. A lot of those students ride with me now when we go out and we ride, on weekends when I'm training and things of that nature. I had a student that rode in my class. He'd never ridden more than 20 miles in his whole life. That summer I was kind of training to do one of my longer races. He rode 600 miles with me, which was pretty awesome. We did that in about 4.5 days. So it's one of those deals where I think you'll enjoy doing it that way. This is a great opportunity to do that because we have the police in Waco shut down the streets that we're riding on. They patrol every one of the intersections that we have to go through. So everything is kind of taken care of for you. Every 10 miles, we have what you would call a rest stop. It's going to have food, it's going to have water, it's going to have everything that you need, excuse me, to make everything comfortable for you. And if you get somewhere along the way and you say, hey, I can't make it, Coach, there's always a trailer and a truck that'll give you a ride back to the Farrell Center. So it's very inexpensive. I think it costs $30. Nancy waives most of that fee for my students. So it'll wind up costing you about $10, and it's a guaranteed A on the final, and it'll change your life. You'll have a great time doing it. So that's the grading policy. 10% from the attendance, 10% from the book, 40% from skills test, and 40% comes from the final. You know what you got to have on your bike. The other thing I would tell you is this is kind of the way I teach this class. It's somewhat different than most people teach classes, but we have people in here that are different skill levels. Some of you guys have never ridden in a trail in your life, and other of you guys are probably pretty proficient at it. So I want you all to have fun at it, and that's kind of tough when some are beginners and some are, really advanced. The way we take care of that is the first, 20, 25, 30 minutes of every class, we go over the skills that I think are necessary for that day, and we start working on those skills. We start, kind of making sure everybody's familiar. Even the people that are good, we review those skills. We make sure they're even better at those skills. And then we'll go out and we'll ride the first half of class, really about 2/3 of class. We'll do what we need to do for beginners. It's beginning mountain biking, so we'll treat it like that. We'll go out and we'll do stuff that's going to help you start building confidence, help you start developing your skills. You'll have a great time doing it. And then we'll go back to the trailer. I'll let you guys leave, the ones that want to stay. We'll go out, we'll mix it up, we'll have fun. We'll ride as hard as you want to ride. Usually that lasts for about 3 weeks, and then we're all riding together. That's the way it's been ever since I started teaching these classes here. And as a matter of fact, normally it gets to the point where I can't get anybody to leave. They're like, Coach, let's just do one more trail. And I'm like, I've been riding all day, we got to stop. So it's time for class to be over, but you'll get to where you really enjoy it. Again, Cameron Park is such a great place to learn at. Here's the thing, you will never ever be criticized, or your grade will never be affected if you decide that something's a little bit too dangerous for you or you're not comfortable with it. So anytime you want to get off your bike and walk, you get off your bike and walk. I want you to progress at a level that makes you confident. The last thing I need is for somebody to get scared. And in mountain biking, it's really easy to do. You can scare yourself, and once you scare yourself, then you're always a little bit tentative about what you're trying to do. I want you to go at your own pace. So if we're riding down something and everybody in class just rides right down, it's no big problem, but you're a little bit hesitant, hey, get off your bike and walk down it. Mountain biking is about walking your bike too. I promise you, on the Tour Divide, I walked my bike plenty of times in plenty of places because I had no choice. So, you know, it's never going to affect your grade. I want you to push yourself. I want you to try, and I want you to get better, and I know you will. But that being said, there's no reason to do something stupid and hurt yourself early on, okay? It's mountain biking. There's an opportunity for you to fall. Normally, when you do fall mountain biking, you fall at about 1 mile an hour, so it's not something that's going to hurt you terribly. But anyway, that's the way I teach a class. I want everybody to have fun at it. So the first half of class is mostly for beginners. We're going to treat it like that. If you're very advanced, be patient. Let us do what we do. At the end of class, I'll make it up to you. I'll take you guys out and we'll ride hard and we'll ride whatever you want to ride. Again, about 2 or 3 weeks into the semester, everybody will be riding everything. It'll be fun, okay? And again, Cameron Park is awesome because we got everything that we need out there, so it's a great place. Hey, now you guys have your own bikes. Remember this, you got to meet at Cameron Park. Okay, so that's about 3 miles from campus, so you have to have some way to transport your bike to and from. If you rented a bike from me, don't worry about it. It'll be there when you get there. Okay, but if you have your own bike, make sure you have a way to get it to Cameron Park. Some people decide, hey, I'm going to ride. That's good, but there's some hills between Baylor and Cameron Park, so if you ride, you get to class, you might be a little tired, and we ride in class, you still got to ride those hills back to campus, so you might want to find a way to either carpool or, you know, just some type of cheap rack to put on your car or your truck to get your bike out there. Anyway, that's some of the things we'll talk about. We'll spend at least one day in the classroom when I get back, and then we'll head straight to Cameron Park. But that's pretty much mountain biking. So it's a great class. It's fun. You're going to have a great time doing it. As long as you have a bike that's in good shape, remember Jeremiah, Bear Mountain, they'll make sure that happens for you. As long as you come with a great attitude, you can be patient. I'll be patient with you. I love this sport. I want you to love it as well. And you're going to really enjoy Cameron Park. You're going to really enjoy this class. So just make sure you get those things that we talked about, the things you need for your bicycle, the things you need for yourself. Make sure you get those before the next class meeting. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to give me a buzz. You can email me, you can text me, you can call me. I'll answer, and we'll go over that kind of stuff, and I'll make sure that I haven't confused you. So it's hard to cover all the things that I need to cover as quickly as I'm doing this, but hopefully this will be something that, you know, they'll give you a general idea of what you're going to need for the class and what the class is all about. There's going to be a short video at the end of this class that they're going to show you. Whoever's showing you this video is going to show you the other video as well. It's about 8 minutes long. It's a pretty good video. It's something that we made, my son made for me basically after I got through with the Tour Divide. The Tour Divide is a 3,000 mile race, again, from Canada to Mexico in the wilderness. Really cool. We did that to raise money for a 2-year-old that had cancer, so it's a pretty cool little video. It just shows some of the highlights, some of the good places, some of the good trails. It shows some of the bad trails as well. But it's pretty cool, so take the time to watch that. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Feel free to contact me any way you want to. I can't wait to get to class, and we'll get started. So I look forward to seeing you guys pretty soon. Thanks.